Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Well, if you missed Clash, you missed out on a good time. I will say, for it to have 5 matches on the card, they did a really good job with the show and how it was booked. Each match continued something or started something new. So let's get into it. If you missed Clash, I'm sure it'll be up for replay very soon. Don't worry. But Clash in Italy was meant to set some things up for the near future and revive some things as well. So let's start at the end with the big match that everybody was looking forward to. It was Jacob and Roman. Now it seems like this match was a little safer than it was supposed to be. And I say that because there wasn't as much, carnage and physicality in this match as I expected. And I suspect it has a lot to do with Jacob Fatu's injury that he suffered. And they didn't want him to be injured, but the finish of the match could be the same. So that's what they did. I'm not going to lie to you. Majority of this match, I was checked out of it. It doesn't mean that it was bad or good, but in my opinion, I just wasn't as interested or invested in the end of the match because I kind of had an idea of where it was going to go. But for the most part, it seems like they did their job in making sure the match had a respective finish that everybody liked. And this is where I said that it either ended feuds or it started something anew. For Jacob Fatu, it is the beginning of him serving the tribal chief, very similar to the way he served Solo. But now we see that Solo and the MFTs have shown up, and because Jacob has lost, the stipulation is, 1, he has to acknowledge Roman as his tribal chief, and 2, Jacob has to serve Roman Reigns with no guilt, no anger, and in time, he will learn to love his tribal chief just as everybody else, with the exception of Solo. It's very interesting. When you go back and watch the January 6th or 7th episode of Raw, when Solo went up against Roman for the Ula Fala that year, Solo was not required to give Roman any acknowledgement afterwards. He was able to quietly move over to SmackDown and move into his own family and start with the MFTs, which I found to be very interesting. He should have had to acknowledge him too. But Roman was cussing up a storm today. He's very much into his feelings. I don't know what his issue was. But after the match was over and after he saw Solo and all of them, He instructed Jay to bring Jacob down. And he clearly said, after I'm done with this motherfucker, we gonna get their asses too. They gonna get in line too. That's a scary thought. If Roman gains control over the MFTs, you might as well be right back where we started almost 3 years ago when it took all of the WWE and Cody Rhodes to dethrone Roman as the champion. He also made a dig at QB1, claiming that he ain't fuck all that QB1 shit, is tribal chief all day long. So this is not ending. This is an open-ended feud that they will revisit very soon. Solo and the MFTs are more than likely going to be absorbed back into the bloodline soon. And we're going to be right back where we started. Not only is Roman going to be controlling Jacob Fatu, but he will also have control over Tala Tonga and Solo and Tama Tonga as well. That is not good at all. Okay? But his goal is to get them all in line so he can move with everybody. To be fair, he's going to need them all because he has two monsters waiting in the wings to try to steal his throne. One of them being Obafemi and the other being none other than Braun Breaker. So Roman has to be able to control his family so that his family can help protect him. The storyline that's developing for Jacob, Solo, and Roman, I like. It keeps all of them off of the championships for now, and it keeps everything central focused within the family. Now, once everything is outside the family, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for now, it looks like Roman Reigns is regaining the power that he lost, and it's not good. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Let's get to this match. Sol Ruca is your new Intercontinental Champion. Now, a lot of people I saw online were pretty upset that Becky dropped that belt to her. Some of y'all are weird. I'm going to say that 1000%. Because you have no problem with Tiffany Stratton being pushed right to the top and getting title opportunity after title opportunity after title opportunity. No issues with her being champion her first year round. No issue with Julia getting a title within her first year on the main roster. No issue with Jade becoming tag team champion. And well, they did have a problem with that. I'm not going to lie to you about that. So I'm very confused as to why the consensus is that Sol doesn't deserve it and she shouldn't have been the one. If anything, you would want someone new to come in and reinvigorate this women's division because clearly using the girls that are already there hasn't been working as of lately, has it? So in this match, I'm not going to lie to you. I was not interested. I really need them to stop using Jessica Carr in Becky's matches as much as possible. Not because I don't enjoy the back and forth or the fun of it all, but it's getting to the point where you have to try to understand when is this going to pay off for Jessica's part or anybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Because I get that they want Jessica to get back into the ring from what I understand and from what I've read, but that doesn't mean that you're going to take your sweet ass time getting there. In my opinion, if she's going to get back in the ring, this needs to be starting as soon as possible. After this, Becky Lynch should not get a rematch for this title. Shocker. Becky should not get a rematch for this title. This title has been in play for a little less than 2 years, and Becky Lynch has been champion 3 fucking times. No. We're moving on. Okay? The match itself was fine. I wish it was a bit more physical. I wish it was a bit more fun, but I don't expect a lot out of Becky these days, if I'm being honest. So I'm curious as to how Sol is going to match up against girls like Bayley, which she's wrestled Bayley before, done an excellent job. It'll be fun to see her match up against girls like Roxanne, Lyra, even Raquel, but even Raquel sometimes is stiffer in the ring. It's just going to be a good time to see how well she moves in the ring with some more talent that's more on her level, and it's really going to reinvigorate the fun of watching the girls wrestle again. We'll see. But Sol Ruka is your new Intercontinental Champion. Congratulations to Sol. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar came and went, and Brock Lesnar tried his hardest to keep Obafemi down, and he was able to do that. He was successful in beating Obafemi. He didn't rule him like he said he would. Obafemi's not an easy person to beat, and it took seven F5s, including one through a table, to which Obafemi stood on his 2 feet, and a Chimera lock, to which Obafemi picked his ass up and dropped him in that entire match. And he was able to best him, but it was not an easy feat. And I guarantee you that the next time these two meet, Obafemi will be the ruler. This is the first loss that Obafemi has suffered on the main roster, and I'm sorry, but it wasn't this overly dominant matchup. It took Brock Lesnar attacking Oba in the beginning of the match before the bell even fucking rang, or at least like a hair of a minute after the bell rang for him to attack Oba, take him out, and continue this onslaught. And because he's old and tired and winded, he couldn't maintain the momentum, which gave Obafemi the opening that he needed to recover and start rage. He got up from an F5 through a table, went into the ring, and started massacring Brock Lesnar. This was not a simple fight between two foes. This was a brutal fight, and the onslaught of attack had to come from Brock Lesnar first, because he knew if he allowed Obafemi to recover, it would be a done deal for him. And I'm 1000% sure that that is the case as well. However, I think heading into SummerSlam is when these two will meet again. If they meet again at Night of Champions, which is very possible that they could, I personally wouldn't let them fight again until SummerSlam. I would let Night of Champions pass. Maybe they would show up on the show. Oba might have another match and then Brock attacks him, or vice versa. But I wouldn't let them fight again until SummerSlam. And that match would be a last man standing, or it would be an I quit match, or I retire match, more so in Brock Lesnar's terms. Overall, it was a good match. It was a good match. The men's brackets dropped. Okay, cool. My opinion on Brock winning, even though I expected it. Okay. To quote Auntie Tony Rossi, was the titty milk good? Now go home. All right. Penta versus Solo versus Nello versus Oba tomorrow. Oh my God. Remember that tomorrow Raw starts at 2 in the afternoon. It does not start at 8 because they're still going to be in Italy and they're on their European summer tour. Their shows are going to be at 2, probably between 2 and 4 for the next month. Okay. So it's about to be real crazy. Let me see. Hold tight, y'all. Okay. So it looks like they're starting off with these big matches because they don't have a lot of time to smaller matches, if we're being honest. Night of Champions is in June. Hold on, let me see what Night of Champions is. Night of Champions. Yeah, Night of Champions is about a month from now. They don't have time to make the brackets smaller. They only have 4 weeks to do it. So Fatal 4-Way for the King of the Ring in the beginning, to me, sounds like an easy way to get a lot of people in that match without having to do separate a bunch of little small matches. I don't mind it. For the women, it's Roxanne, Io, Lash, and Julia. That's actually a really good mix of people. I like that mix. That's nice. And they only put one big girl in that match, which I don't like. I feel like they could have put somebody else in there. They could have put Jade in there if they wanted to. They need to put her in there anyway. Fatal 4-Ways for the King of the Ring is crazy work. I disagree. I mean, it's the early stages of it. We don't have to have a bunch of tiny matches. I don't have a match. I don't really have a problem with the Fatal 4-Way. But again, you get to have a bunch of people in a match on that card, and we don't have to do a lot of smaller matches. I don't have an issue with them having the Fatal 4-Ways. Oh, I might miss this tour. Yeah, I don't really care about Liv. That's your love affair. That's not mine. I'm going Chelsea or Rachel. Yeah. 2 matches a night does the same thing. They went with the Fatal 4-Way, Mikey. What are you going to do? I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's the same thing. It's just you can cram more people in those matches without having to do a lot of smaller matches, and you'll still have time to do your bigger show draws, like what's going on with the Vision and Seth Rollins. That's your lower card draw. And then you have what's going on with the Bloodline. That's going to take up like 30 minutes of your show at bare minimum. Like it's just a timing thing, and I understand it. So I'm fine with it. I told people that Brock and Oba rivalry was going to continue till SummerSlam, where they're going to truly retire Brock by Oba destroying him completely. It's fine. I wasn't mad about him beating him today. It's par for the course, and that's their trilogy. They're going to have another match, and it's going to be in Minnesota because that's where he went to school at. That's his alma mater. So it's fine. 4 Fatal 4-Ways. Then 1v1 contender versus champ. Okay. Jade is in the Queen of the Ring. I don't see. I'm not watching the show, the after show, so I can't see anything. Anything that happens during that time, you guys would have to tell me. So I wouldn't have known if she was in it. I did say she needed to be in it, but I didn't know whether she was going to be in it or not. I'm confused as to why she here, to be honest. Oh, what's going on? I'm gonna yell at the clouds because I'm old. I can tell. It's fine. It's fine, Mikey. She's entering the tournament. I'm gonna finish talking about Clash in Italy, and then we'll get to why I think that's stupid in a minute. I think I don't know. Jay did excellent tonight. I'll get to her in a minute. Just give me 1 second. People don't want to hear this, to be honest. I think Roman versus Jacob is going to end in a double knockout draw. Have you watched the show? The show's over. Jacob lost clean to Roman, babe. It was a clean loss, and he must acknowledge the tribal chief. And I don't think they want to put the title on Jacob now. I don't think the intention was to ever put the title on Jacob. I think the intention was to always domesticate Jacob and get him in line with Roman Reigns. That's what the intention was. Always. Just hooting and hollering per usual. Child. Well, okay. Yeah, it already happened. Jade did amazing. I'm gonna be honest with you. This was my favorite match of the night, and I know it's crazy, but this match was excellent. Jade and Rhea Ripley have great chemistry, and I have always said this, and I will continue to say this about Jade. A lot of people don't understand how she works because y'all are so busy trying to judge her from off the rip. Jade Cargill rises to the occasion of each opponent. If your opponent is trash, that's how the match gonna look, trash, because there's nothing to bounce off of. She is not the kind of wrestler that's gonna go out there and put on a 5-star match when there's nothing there to compete against. Rhea Ripley forces her to rise to the occasion. Not to mention, she constantly is working on her craft and intent and continuously chiseling herself out to be the best version of herself. And I don't think people give her enough respect for that. Jade Cargill did amazing today, as did Rhea Ripley. Neither one of them did anything bad in this match, in my opinion. They did absolutely well. The match flow was good. The speed of the match was great. Both of their ring awareness was good. The selling was excellent on both sides. I love this match. And this one was the most rewatchable, in my opinion. With on this card. I was incredibly proud of Jade Cargill, and I just was happy about the match. Now, the finish of this match, Rhea Ripley won due to interference from both sides. So let me explain. The baddies came down there, Michin and BFAB obviously came down there to provide enough of a distraction so that Jade could get the win. Didn't work out that way. And also, towards the end, there was a little misstep. BFAB couldn't get Jade's leg in, so Jade just put her leg up there on the fucking bottom rope because BFAB couldn't get it up in time so the ref could catch it. It was such a weird thing. I was like, BFAB, girl, just lift it, bitch. Is you short? Like, she couldn't get it up there. Overall, what needed to happen happened. Charlotte came out for the save, got rid of both of them, threw B-Fab's face into that turnbuckle, and B-Fab sold that shit. Oh, it was so bad. But what came in clutch was Charlotte coming in clutch for Rhea Ripley, putting her foot up on the rope in turn, and that cost Jade Cargill the match. Now, if you watch SmackDown Friday, okay, you saw that Charlotte Flair said that Jade Cargill is owed a receipt for taking down Bliss the way that she did. So that was part of said receipt. Now, Jade Cargill is probably going to be tunneling or channeling Charlotte Flair, going after her for her interference in her match. This will pull Jade off of Rhea. They may have one more battle amongst each other because Nick Aldis may say there was too much interference and they'll have a final bout to their trilogy. But in my opinion, 2 wins over 1 doesn't give them any animosity to go back for it. But it'd be an easy opportunity and an easy push towards giving Jade Cargill another shot at the title and then being done with it and then moving into something else. So this was my favorite match of the night. The girls did a good job, but I'm very curious as to where this could lead. They could double back to Charlotte. They could have a lot of things, but Nia's there. There are other girls there that could deserve opportunities and can get opportunities at the title against Rhea Ripley, which leads me to believe that JC Jane more than likely will win the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she will be the next person to challenge Rhea Ripley for that championship. I don't think that she should win it, but her challenging for it, to me, isn't that big of a problem. Now, the last match that I want to talk about is this one. It was Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. Gunther faced off against Cody, and he beat the brakes off of Cody Rhodes today. And Cody has faced Gunther before, so this isn't a new move for him. However, in this match, The end is what you should hyperfixate on. The match itself was decent. It was a typical Gunther match, so I'm not going to go blow for blow and move for move for you. I'll just let you know that any match that Gunther is in, 99% of the time, it's a good match. And this one was a good match. Gunther could have beat Cody, but Cody was able to get Gunther down and hit him with the crossroads, hit him with his signatures and finisher, and then he rolled, pinned, but Gunther had his leg underneath the ropes. And because Cody lifted and rolled him up just a little higher, the ref didn't see that his foot was under the ropes. This is how Gunther is going to get back at Cody Rhodes, and they're going to go back at it again, more than likely in Riyadh in Night of Champions. Night of Champions is June 27th, and it is going to be a Saudi show this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, overall, if I had to give you a rating for Clash in Italy, I give it a solid B+. I thought match-wise, it was solid. Storyline-wise, it was solid. It was a good show. So we're going to go match for match. I'll give Roman and Jacob's match a high C. I think for the most part, it did its part, but it wasn't as interesting as the lead up to the actual match, in my opinion. Now, if you disagree, I'm fine with that. I don't disagree. But me personally, I just wasn't as into this match as I could have been. And this match was a little safer than I thought it would be. Moving on, going into Oba versus Brock. I actually like this match as much as I detest Brock Lesnar. I do think that they did what they were supposed to do. Obafemi still looked strong in this match. He wasn't weakened. He didn't look like he couldn't contend. It was just the fall from grace didn't do what it was supposed to do in this particular regard. But if I had to give it a grade, I'm going to give it a high B. I don't think it hit an A- territory, but I do think they battled enough to give it what it needs. Their final fight either needs to be in one of three types of matches. It needs to be in a falls count anywhere. It needs to be in a cage, which I recommend Hell in a Cell, or it needs to be a stipulation style match like I Quit or I Retire style match. One of those matches should be the end all be all of their match. And since Hell in a Cell hasn't been used in years, I recommend Hell in a Cell for these two to battle it out because I think it just will be a fun time. But Brock Lesnar's, I don't know, he's a little bit of a puss out these days, so he may not want to go inside that cage with a ravenous ruler. But me personally, I think it would be fun to watch. Moving on, Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. I give this match an A+. Like I said, the match itself was good. It had the best pacing. Everybody was doing their job. There was good moments in this match on both sides. Jade Cargill looked extremely dominant and strong throughout most of this match. Rhea Ripley got a lot of her shit off. It looked good. It was clean. Everything about this match was good. And even in the end, the storytelling part of it worked. I give it an A+. I think it was one of the best matches, if not the best match of the night. They did an excellent job. Sol Ruca and Becky Lynch. I give it a high C. I want more from Becky, and she just seems to be phoning it in, and all she likes to do is give promos on the microphone, and then her matches come up and they're not as great as they could be. Becky's not that bad great in the ring, and everybody needs to understand and respect that. However, you're dealing with someone like Sol Ruca, and she doesn't have a lot to play off of, like Jade Cargill. Sometimes her matches can be a little muted too. So I give it a C because it did what it was supposed to do. It gave Sol Ruca her opportunity to shine, but it also didn't give Sol Ruca really big room to do big and great things, which I'm hoping over the next couple of months, her being champion will allow her to spread her wings a bit more like she did in NXT. So for me, Becky and Sol's match, you get a C. In terms of Cody Rhodes and Gunther, I think you get a B-. Match-wise, it was good, and there's nothing bad about it. Storyline-wise, the entire story of Gunther and Cody, it's too tricky for me to be invested in, but I'm not mad about it. I feel like going forward, this little addition of Sami Zayn running around the two of them is going to become a problem in itself. But I haven't quite figured out how they're going to interject that in there, because I honestly think that this matchup between Rhodes and Gunther is going to lead to Cody eventually having a feud with Sami Zayn at some point in the near future as well. But overall, if I had to give the full show, a grade, I would say it gets a B minus. I think that the show itself did exactly what it was supposed to do in terms of making sure every match did either ended, started a new one, or gave you a great finish to something that was happening on the respective shows. Now, heading into Monday Night Raw, we got a lot going on Monday Night Raw. Just like in the comments, everybody that's looking at the after show, we know for a fact that there are a bunch of fatal four ways heading into Raw and SmackDown. A bunch of people get to be a part of it, which I don't mind. And I understand you guys want a lot more matches to fill up some more time, and that's cool. But fatal four ways take up a great amount of time on the match card. So for me, I'm okay with the fatal four way. And with the first couple of fatal four ways that they've announced, this is going to be very, very interesting. So from what Donnie has told me in the comments, he said, let me go back up, that it is going to be Penta versus Solo versus Melo versus Oba tomorrow. That's a really big set of guys in one match. You've got a potential finalist for King of the Ring and a potential King of the Ring in Obafemi, a potential finalist in Melo, and you have a potential finalist for King of the Ring in Solo and Penta. All of these guys can very well win in this match. Do I think Obafemi is going to advance in this match? I mean, he could, but I wouldn't let him. I would give it to someone like Melo or Solo to advance in this match. I only ice out Penta because Penta has a title. And I really don't like that they keep including people who have titles in King and Queen of the Ring. You shouldn't be competing for that. You already have a stepping stone to the title. So you shouldn't be competing in a slot where someone else could have an opportunity. The champions shouldn't be allowed to compete in those titles. At least that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, they shouldn't. Now for the women, let me see what Donnie put in the comments for the girls. He said Roxanne, Io, Lash, and Julia. The only thing I hate about this is that there's no other big woman in this match. Now I get it. Raquel and Nia both are teaming with one of these members in this match. So they had to even it out so it wasn't just a bunch of people in here that weren't, doing their, that wasn't going to make it even. You didn't have two people fighting to get rid of two other people. Would have been interesting, though, to see what Raquel would have done if she was in the ring with Roxanne after Roxanne got eliminated. To me, I feel like that's a good way to add a little pepper in this whole Judgment Day shit, seeing as how they ain't been doing shit these last couple of weeks after they done beat up everybody and took out everybody. And interestingly enough, I wonder how Finn is going to fit in this King of the Ring tournament. Me personally, if I had to pick who should win in terms of the King of the Ring tournament, I would love for it to be Finn Balor, who wins and gets a shot at the title, any respective title, and then gets it. Like, if he could just get it, that would be amazing. It was a good match. I loved it. I haven't been able to watch the whole show because I'm far behind everybody. Well, I highly recommend that you watch the show before you come in here, because I pretty much am coming on here after Clash in Italy. So I hope you enjoy the show. It's Ruka, Valkyria, Lyra Valkyria, and Flair and Cargill. Yeah, see, this right here, I canceled Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair out immediately. They're not going to advance. So more than likely, it's going to be Soul or Lyra Valkyria that advances. And it could be Lyra that advances in this tournament again, simply because Becky's probably going to be gunning for Soul Ruka. I don't know if I like this lineup because there's a lot going on here. And it just looks obvious that Lyra might be the one who advances here. Oh, I think Jade and Charles are in the same match. Yeah, they are, babe. And that's that. Oof. This render eats. I knew she looked good this night. It flowed really well. It was good. He took 7 matches. He took 7 of those F5s and still was able to get up and fight. Last man standing match. I don't have a problem with that. Or if the fight pit is still a thing, I don't think they're gonna put him in the fight pit. But I wouldn't mind it. I would love for that to come back because fight pit is one of my favorite match stipulations. But they don't use it often, and when they do, they are not using it right, and I don't understand it. Hello, Tirza. How are you? So I went over Clash in Italy. It was a good show if you missed it. I highly recommend you watch it on the rewatch if you can. But we're going over Monday Night Raw. Okay? Now, look. Here's what I think should happen going forward. Now, for those of you who missed the show, when it comes to Clash in Italy, just let me cook a little bit. Yeah, babe. You're a little late. It's okay. So, look. Boom. Monday, Jacob has to acknowledge Roman Reigns. He lost fair and square. You know, it was a good pin. He lost fair and square, but he has to acknowledge Roman. Oh, good. So here's what I think. Where I think a lot of this shit is going. Roman Reigns and Jacob. It's going to take Jacob a little bit, but he's going to begin to do his job as the enforcer for Roman. Roman is beginning to get back into his stride, and he about to become a tyrant again. And having Jacob on his side, that most definitely is going to be much, much easier. But here's where I want y'all to understand. The MFTs were lurking in the background. And Roman was like, we got Jacob together. Go get his ass and get him in line. And after I'm done with this nigga, I'm going after him. After I'm done with them, after I'm done with him, I'm getting their asses together too. Like I said earlier, if he is able to absorb the MFTs and they have the full bloodline in tow, that's a problem. That is a major, major problem. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now, titles. I don't know what's going on with Liv Morgan. She has no competitors. Liv Morgan has been champion since WrestleMania. Stephanie went down after Mania. She has an injury. And WWE has not given her a title an opponent for her to compete against at all. And I have been saying this since Jade Cargill vowed to go up against Rhea Ripley again. I knew she was going to lose. I knew she was. But here's my thing. You need to move Jade Cargill and her girls over to Raw. They need to be on Raw, not because there's nothing for them to do on SmackDown. She could very easily continue this feud with Rhea Ripley. They can make it happen. And it would be a good matchup between the two women, no lie. But Liv Morgan has nobody. And it don't look like they're planning anybody either, except for whoever wins Queen of the Ring, which love that for you. But I mean, can we have two champions that actually have true competitors to compete against? There is no reason why she's champion and there is nobody going after her title, but everybody's fighting for the tag team titles. Can someone explain that to me? Liv entering the Queen of the Ring tournament makes no sense. She declared her entry on the post show. What are we doing? What are you talking about? Oh my God. The winner of the Queen of the Ring tournament is supposed to win Queen of the Ring and then be able to challenge the champion of their choosing. This is why I say champions shouldn't be allowed to compete. I'm just irritated because it's unnecessary. It's so damn stupid. That's what I was talking about earlier. I hate all of that. Because I think it's the past title retainer day. You have to retain a title every 30 days, and it looks like time's up. If that's the case, Aaliyah, then she should be having a challenger, not in the fucking Queen of the Ring tournament. She still is not competing under the guise of having her title on the line. She is competing for the crown of Queen of the Ring. If she wanted to be Queen of the Ring, they should have let Stephanie with the belt. Let Stephanie vacate because she was injured and have that title up for grabs at Queen of the Ring. Not have her compete as the fucking champion. That is stupid. The only way I see this making any sense is if Raquel or Roxanne cost her qualifying match. I still don't like it. You know why? Because you took away a slot from somebody else who could have been in it. And I'm just not, I don't like it. I'm sorry. There's no way to justify it in my head. I don't care if she cost Roxanne and Raquel their opportunities. I don't care. Because you know what? She's cost them opportunities before. You could have been started the wedge in this particular group with these two. They didn't need to do this. This is stupid. The fuck is going on? I give her the stipulation of defending the title. Just give her somebody to compete against at Night of Champions or whatever. But like, if she got to defend her title, there's people back there she can defend it in. What is Natalya doing? Natalya not doing nothing but running around and fool line in NXT. Make that bitch work all this motherfucking. She her name Natty now and she not Natalya no more. Well, bitch, there go a title ain't been gotten. Get your ass up, get that singlet on, and get that fucking mouthpiece and go work, ho. Natalya ain't doing shit. Make her do it. The fuck? One of them is going to turn at some point, but placing her into the tournament makes no sense. And that's my thing. I don't have a problem with none of the turns. Whoever does it makes no never mind to me, babe. My problem is, why are you taking away a spot from somebody else on the roster to put Liv Morgan in the fucking tournament? She is already champion. She don't need Queen of the Ring right now. She can get Queen of the Ring next year. The fuck? You can't convince me that none of that makes any sense. No, so the slots are full. She was just like, I'm officially entering myself into the tournament. Not get your singlet on. That hoe be wearing the singlet, Tirza. She wears it now. She don't wear shit else. I'm tell you what she be having on because you'll be missing NXT. And I don't think, and she not on Raw or SmackDown enough for you to know what she be having on. She wrestles the way they wrestle in collegiate wrestling and in professional, like Olympic wrestling, okay? And high school. Natalya comes down there with her gear on. It's a singlet, okay? Hair braided to the back, mouthpiece, traditional wrestling boots, and she always. The one thing about Natalya that really grinds my gears is the the over grandeur of her character and how non-serious she is, but she be trying to convince everybody else that she is. Like, she'll walk in the ring and do this little hip thrust thing and then look down, and that's her way of proving that she's a badass. And I'm just sorry. I see right through your bullshit, ma'am. I see right through it. Okay? And I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you what also fucked you up. Your time on motherfucking Total Divas is what soured me on anything that you selling. I'm not buying, bitch. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You can't convince me that you hard about shit. Well, you begging that man to come into your house and be a robber so you can get dicked down properly. You will never convince me that you are a hard bitch after that shit. Never. I will never believe you, ma'am. What you selling is wolf tickets. Stop it. She come out there with, and it's like blue and black, I think, but her hair is braided to the back, mouthpiece in her mouth. She coming out like you would expect Brutus and Julius. That's how she come out there. Low key, I kind of wish she would join American Made. They would make a real good powerhouse group if she was in it. But she just don't have the charisma to do any of that stuff. She just doesn't have it. And everybody keep yelling at me. They get mad when I say that she don't, but she really don't. She really don't. Yes, Natty. I meant Natty. Her getting slapped by Summer Rae didn't bother me. Okay, because I know Summer Rae is one of the coldest bitches to walk the planet. Summer Rae is believable. Natalya, I'm sorry, but Total Diva soured me on her. And the moment I saw her yelling at her husband about I can't do it. I can't do it. Not the slap. Y'all ain't gonna let that slap go. That's crazy. But I can't do it. I can't. And I'm just saying though, so many different opportunities to really make this shit shake, and you are squandering it. You have people there that could give you a good, 2-3 month view until the people you need are ready. And my biggest problem with WWE is they don't know how to pivot right. They're not pivoting, and I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the bullshit. You get chance after chance after chance, and y'all got the tools. You know you have the people. You know you do. And you're so hell-bent on keeping those that you love at the top, hoarding and waiting, pining away for shit, that you will sabotage yourself before you make shit right so that we can enjoy what we watching. You just don't understand. You just don't get it. And I just don't. I'm just getting jaded to the point where I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about no more. And I'm just going to enjoy what I want, and everything else, I'm going to just ignore it. I'm sorry, I had to put some deodorant on, child. I got out the shower before I started the show, and I was like, now I got to put on some deodorant. But anyways, so we got a lot going on. Now, potential matchups. Let's get to that. Potential matchups. We already know Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair are about to start their feud very soon. I see Sol Ruka possibly going back and competing against Becky again. Becky's going to lose, I hope, and then they can move forward with that. And then you can have potential lineups with Sol Ruka, like I said earlier. Potential lineups with Sol going up against Lyra, going up against Bayley, possibly having a really good feud with Roxanne Perez or even Raquel. You got Ivy Nile back there. Natalya is still lurking back there. There's plenty of people for that mid-card division to thrive. But again, if you move Jade, BFAB, and Michin over there, you expand on that division and have a lot more wiggle room and a lot more to work with. Plus, you add a ready-made star to your roster, and it looks like you need her on Raw because your women's division is dwindling. It is non-existent damn near. Half of them is in fucking tag teams, and the other one is in Judgment Day. And it's like, at this point, girl, I'm tired. That's how I feel about Roman winning. They are staying safe, and I wish they took the risk. Here's the thing with Roman winning. You have to think about the future. You're thinking about right now. And that's another big problem when it comes to a lot of fans who watch WWE. Would I have loved for Jacob to be champion? Absolutely. That would have been a fun time. But you're talking about building up so that when certain rivalries pop up, they actually have real longevity and make sense. Roman Reigns is not the kind of guy that's just going to pop up and have a match with just about anybody. So going up against somebody like Roman and potentially beating them can set you up for life in your career and give you a major, major boost, right? So guys like LA Knight are back there. Guys like I said, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed is coming back very soon. Definitely going to lend to a problem. You have two overly dominant factions on that show. One of them needs to be eradicated. It looks like the only one that's going to be capable of doing it is the Bloodline. Okay? Now, you've got Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Austin Theory. Logan's out. Logan's not going to be back for another, what? They say he got 6 months that he's going to be gone with his surgery. He just had surgery a few days ago. So Logan's going to be out for a bare minimum of 3, which I believe he'll be gone for the full 6. I don't think he's coming back that much longer. So we talking about now it's June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That means Logan Paul probably won't show back up until January, which will be the very first show of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, which to me makes the most Striker is on par to either win the championship or become the Royal Rumble winner at Royal Rumble. That is just my opinion. Y'all can take it however y'all want to take it, but I'm telling you, that's where that is headed. Okay. I also believe that because you have Braun Breaker on the card on this roster, and you have Obafemi, there's going to be some points of contention here that Roman Reigns is going to have to work through. And these guys are all going to be gunning for that championship. You're going to need a strong champion who is overly dominant, overly confident to be able to contend with these also overly dominant and overly confident people. It's not that Jacob lacks the ability or can't do it. It's just that Jacob needs time. And in order for him to have time, he's got to be under the tutelage of the best. Okay? So it makes more sense to give let that championship stay on Roman for a little while and let him roll through it and let these people have real battles and real fights with one of the greatest champions of all time than to put the title on a newly minted Jacob and have him defending the family's honor when you can have the tribal chief do it. It makes more sense to do it with Roman. He's the bigger star. He's the bigger draw. He's going to make the most money. It's very simple. Think about the seeds that were planted at the end of the match. Exactly. And this is the thing. They're not going to be intertangled with Braun and Bronson Reed and the Vision and or Oba for quite some time. So they had to circumvent those people, bring Solo, Tama, and Tala over there because the pull and pull back and forth of Jacob is what that whole feud is about to be about. Jacob now has to fall in line to the bloodline. Totally separate story from what we already know. Right? So now that we have Solo and MFTs over there, causing more havoc, there's another storyline that's been till Bronson Reed come back, and you still have Oba dealing with Brock Lesnar leading out into SummerSlam. So by the time we head into Survivor Series, we'll be on a totally different plane. Now, we may have another Bloodline Survivor Series for the men. I'm hoping that that's not the case. But, if they're doing enough to make sure the storylines are expansive, they're not crossing paths, they're running parallel until they cross paths, which to me makes the most sense. Now, SmackDown, they're not doing so well, but they will get better. I will say that. I'm curious on what they will do with EO. Also, if they get the Bronson Reed we saw on an IG, then good luck to the roster. That's what I'm saying. Bronson Reed coming back is going to be a big deal because, like I said, Roman was going to need Jacob with Bronson Reed coming back and Braun Breaker gunning for that championship. They're all going to be gunning for everything. And it's going to become Bloodline versus the world. That is the way it's going to look. But if they get Solo, Tala, and Tama to fall in line, like I think they will, we got a bigger problem on our hands, my guy. But don't y'all forget, tomorrow the show comes at 2. It comes on at 2 tomorrow, not 8. They're still going to be in Turin, Italy, and the show is going to be on at 2. So don't forget, make sure you get your Netflix. If you ain't paid your Netflix this month, make sure it's paid. Okay? But y'all let me know what y'all think of Clash in Italy, if y'all like the show or not. If you're listening to this in the playback, thank you so much for listening and sticking around to the end. I appreciate you more than you know. All right? I think every single one of you are awesome. I love yous. And I enjoy Clash in Italy. There's one more thing that I want to tell y'all that I really think y'all should go watch. If you did not watch the Noche de los Grandes match, the Mask for Mask match with, this is the triple A. Let me move the banner down so you can see it. This is the cruiserweight match. I believe it was with Rey Fenix and Laredo Kid. Awesome match. Love this match so much. It was so good. Let me see. Yes, the cruiserweight title match. This match was good. The whole show was great. Okay, go on YouTube and watch it. I think it's up for the replay. It was so amazing, the whole freaking show. This match, the title, I'm not going to tell you if you haven't seen it, but it was so freaking good. Okay, then you had the tag team match. Really good match. It was a good turn at the end in this match. There was a lot of tumultuous issues between the tag team champions. I'm not going to tell you who won because I want you to go watch the show. Okay? But I'm telling you, it was an awesome match between them. This match between Vikingo and El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., I'm going to tell you right now, I hate the heavy interference, but I will say that some of that interference was warranted. It was a good match. All of the titles had really good challenges to them. Overall, it was an excellent match between these two as well. But I will say this right here, this match definitely is a contender for match of the year. It was brutal, it was bloody, it was ugly, but I will tell you what, they did a phenomenal job booking this match, the lead up to the finish of it. It was excellent. If you have not watched it, please go to YouTube and watch this match. It is so worth the minutes and the time. Now, next week, you're going to have a match, I believe. You're going to have Bailey, Lola Vice, and there's a newest acquisition in the women's division going up against Flamer and all her girls. She's the current champion of AAA for the women. And then I don't know what else is on that card, but I'm going to find out. And when I do, I will post it in our next talk, which will be tomorrow for Monday Night Raw after show. And then I'll talk about it then. I won't go live for Monday Night Raw until 8. Just to give you guys some time to watch Monday Night Raw because it'll be on and it should be up for playback by then. I won't go live until like 8 o'clock, okay? So no worries. But yeah, this match right here, chef's kiss. Got to watch it for sure, okay? You got to watch it. I'm glad they didn't put this on WrestleMania. I'm not, but I am glad that it was a great match. I am glad they did it excellent. I was kind of sad it wasn't on Mania because I would have loved to have seen this. I would have loved if this was on Triple Mania, honestly. I thought that this match was going to be pushed to Triple Mania, but they did their big one. And this right here, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get my ass up out of here. Chad Gable deserves the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? The way that he was able to put over Ludwig as El Grande Americano, the way he has been able to put on banger after banger in terms of his matches. If American Made doesn't get pushed after this, I'm going to be very pissed off. I'm going to be very angry because they deserve to be pushed. They deserve to be at the top of the mountain. Those tag team titles need to be put on American Made immediately. Do you hear what I'm saying? Chad Gable does deserve to be Intercontinental Champion. As much as I love Penta and as much as I love Javon Evans and everybody, Javon is great. And Javon Evans will be champion at some point in his career. However, I believe that Chad Gable either deserves that U.S. title or he deserves to be Intercontinental Champion within the next 3 months. He needs to be champion of some kind. That's just my opinion, especially everything he was able to do in AAA and to put over El Grande and El Grande being embraced so well. And he did so good, fluent in Spanish, fully embraced the culture and is now one of the most beloved characters in AAA, even though he is not Mexican or Latina himself, but he has immersed himself in their culture, respects their culture enough, respects the people. And that's what I wanted from somebody going into their space and into their territory. And he did that with 1000% grace and pure charisma and just went balls to the wall with everything that they had going on. This match is well worth the watch. And Undertaker may be a lot of things, but a shitty booker is not one of them. And with that being said, I'm going to get my ass up out of here and relax for the rest of the day and finish eating my steak. I hope y'all enjoyed Italy. Please go watch it. It is worth the watch. It is a good show. There are good matches on that card. Okay? Love you guys lots. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 for Monday Night Raw. But before I get out of here, I'm going to let y'all listen to Janae's music. She's got a new song out. And then we're going to go. Bye.
Just hit the weekend. Got a bottle of Grand Malo ready. Got a shorty, I've been vibing with steadily. We feeling each other heavy. She got that energy, it's electric. West Coast girl, she classic. Damn, she got that magic. She real, never fake, no style. She got that summertime. We out here living right now. She got that summertime. Ain't thinking about nothing else. Went through all 3 seasons. She my summertime for a reason. She got that summertime. Her heat got me feeling fantastic.
Thanks for